Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have another build breakdown with Danny, but instead of the Porsche 944 or any car actually, we're going to be breaking down the back end of this YouTube channel and all of the tech that we use to run it. Now, the thing is that me and Danny are both sort of tech enthusiasts, so the back end of this YouTube channel, although it has a couple thousand subscribers, is basically the amount of a small business. Small to medium-sized business, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe like a small office with a few people.
Yeah, so we're basically running this like a startup. So we have multiple NASs, we have remote sync, we have switches, we have UPSs, we're running tons of custom software on all of these machines. Everything can remotely sync to each other. It's all ran locally, and so I'm going to show you guys everything. And basically, if you don't know at all what we're talking about, this is a really complex way of storing every single video that gets recorded on this camera or on my phone or on my GoPro or on any camera, and then it's all categorized and backed up. So imagine a computer that's made to handle a ton of different tasks, and most of it includes backing up this footage and storing it. So
yeah, so the setup, I mean, there's some of my stuff here, some of Ben's stuff here. The server here is Ben's. This is a R530 PowerEdge. This is the main storage, the main NAS, the main backup. We have the main storage on here. We have some backup drives, and then we have Ben's QNAS. And so currently the way the system's set up is we have Ben's QNAS backup to this server, and then on this server we have the main drive and then a backup just in case some of the drives are down or something, or we need to just restore it. We have it there. The drives are in RAID, so there is like a file repair, or like, I guess
redundancy.
Yeah, there's redundancy. We could just replace one of the drives, put it in. It'll take a while, but we can have the drive backup, have all the information stay on there. So that's pretty good.
So why don't you talk about exactly what this is running? So software, firmware, the RAID pool, and...
Yeah, so in terms of firmware, I mean, it's just running basic, I mean, just the regular BIOS that comes with this. We didn't do anything special with that. It does have a iDRAC, so that's pretty useful for remote stuff. We don't have it exposed to the internet in any way, but we do have it available through... Actually, I don't know if we want to talk about that.
We can access it remotely, but we're not going to discuss how, because that would compromise it, although it is a very secure system.
Yeah. We do have a pfSense firewall. I'm running it on my old PC. This used to be what was my gaming PC before Ben kindly donated this computer over here. The one with the lights, not this one. This one has 1 gigabyte, useless. And then I have my personal server for my Homelab for running Windows Server and running multiple clients and Active Directory and all that stuff. We have our UPS. This is just in case my power goes out, so Ben has, you know, 30 minutes to an hour to maybe shut things down correctly so that he doesn't have any file loss. And then we also have a Catalyst 3750, I believe. Yeah. Cisco Catalyst 3750. This is our switch. We have a VLAN set up on it so that we have my local networks separate from Ben's stuff, from my Homelab and the Wi-Fi. So nothing really is on LAN other than my personal PC.
Why don't you quickly mention the flow chart of data? So basically from this camera, how it all gets backed up and transferred and moved.
So it would start... You would take this camera, you'd back up the footage onto Ben's PC, and then from Ben's PC, he would remotely connect through OpenVPN. And then I have OpenVPN running on my firewall. And then from the OpenVPN has access to Ben's server. And then Ben would connect to his server, start it up or whatever else, and he would back up to this server. There's another way that he could do it. Is backup from his PC to his other NAS, and then backup and synchronize the files from there onto this computer.
Why don't you talk about the benefit of that, because that's super cool.
So the reason that we did that was so Ben had like a quicker backup in Japan, because he's going to be going to Japan here soon. So we wanted to set up a system where he could back up quickly in Japan, have all his files there, have it be like much faster transfer speeds than over the internet, obviously. So he can back up everything in Japan, and then once a month he can just back up to this server, and this server has another backup on it. So we have at least a couple of copies of the information, and we have RAID for redundancy. So it's pretty good system. So yeah, it's basically just for speed, essentially, so that we just have. He just has like easy access to his files and easy backups.
And then in part with that whole speed deal, the way that this works now is that I can take footage from my laptop, upload it to a NAS locally in Japan, so I'm bringing a separate computer with me, and then I can, after that footage moves at a fast transfer speed, I can take my laptop off and I can go and I can shoot more stuff, I can go to school, I can do whatever I need to do with my laptop, and then the NAS in Japan, so that computer and this computer can be synced over the network while I'm not involved with anything. The laptop, I can go, I can do my other stuff, and that stuff will be in the background. So I can run it overnight, multiple days, whatever it needs. And then this thing is basically sitting here, and this will just be the unit.
Yeah, that gives him like the advantage of being able to travel, because otherwise he would have to be sitting, having an internet connection for, I mean, some of our bigger backups took 10 hours. So, you know, you might not want to be sitting in one room with Wi-Fi for 10 hours, or with your Ethernet cable plugged in for 10 hours, because obviously he needs to do other things with his laptop when he's going to school. So yeah, that's the system so far. We have the NAS running with Proxmox as the operating system. Went with Proxmox because it's free, it's open source, and it's pretty easy to find plugins for it, and it's a very simple system to work with, not a lot of headache. I've worked with VMware XE operating system on my personal server, and that's had its own headaches, its own weird bugs, and weird issues with finding downloads since they've been bought out by Broadcom. Some of their links are down or something, so you're just like not able to get something like a remote console, which is very useful for connecting to and like managing this computer. Yeah, so a lot of this stuff is visible on the network, but if you were to connect to my Wi-Fi, you could not access the server. So there's only a limited amount of devices that could gain access to this. You would have to have keys, and you'd have to have passwords, and you'd have to have the usernames and all that to access any of this. So
yeah, so there's OpenVPN is one roadblock for intruders, and then that has multiple keys, and then the actual server has passwords, Proxmox has passwords, iDRAC has passwords,
Samba has passwords.
So for me to transfer files, like even just for us, it's a bit of a headache, because there's like 3 or 4 sets of usernames and passwords to get all this going.
Yeah,
so
everything's unique, with completely randomly generated. Don't make up passwords. Don't use passwords in the same place. It's always a bad idea to like reuse passwords. So yeah, it's a pretty secure system in my opinion. I mean, as far as we can do.
So far,
as far as we know.
Yeah, and then someday you were talking about switching out the PC with a actual
so
firewall.
I want to get an actual firewall. The downsides of running this on a PC is for the PC to boot up, you have to have a monitor plugged in, and you have to have a graphics card because it doesn't have built-in graphics. And so it's all kind of a headache. You don't really want to deal with it forever. So whenever I get the money, I want to get that. Also, it would be nice to get a server rack for the switch and for the server and for the firewall when I get that.
You guys see the way that these are designed. This is a 2U, correct?
Yeah, this is a 2U.
So 2U, 2 units, and this computer and this network switch right here are meant to all go into one big unit and slide in and out. Also makes it easy for serviceability.
Yeah.
And then why don't you mention the containers on it briefly?
Yeah, we only have 2 containers on there. Basically, one for the Samba share and the other one for Jellyfin. We have them use shared storage so that you can connect, or so you can view the stuff in a certain folder off of Jellyfin. Ben can watch his old family videos or whatever, or his YouTube videos even. as long as they're in the correct folder. So it's a very convenient way to view older content, you know, like old CDs you had or whatever, if you like burn them on or like save them to your computer.
Yeah. And then, is that kind of about it for my network stuff in this room?
Yeah, there's not really much else I can think of.
Okay, then I think if you're watching still at this point in the video, you might want to see what else Danny has going on in this tech hoarder's wet dream. So
I have a bunch of random stuff. We have my 3D printer, which is, I mean, great for
fixing problems you didn't know you had.
Yeah. So I have my old ashtray. You see, 944 comes with an ashtray. It's now my coin holder, but I 3D printed a cup holder so I can actually, you know, buy drinks, keep them somewhere within arm's reach, and not just hold them between my legs, which is the typical solution for that. Yeah, so this 3D printer is running off this Raspberry Pi, and on this Raspberry Pi I have Clipper running, which is a different firmware, or I guess operating system for the 3D printer. Yeah, so I actually haven't bought a single Raspberry Pi from the company. I found these all at Goodwill, so always keep an eye out. It's pretty fun to find tech stuff. I have other random tech stuff that I haven't like used. Got this random KVM. I have this all-in-one PC I found there. This came with like a 1 terabyte drive, so that's cool.
Monitors.
Bunch of monitors. I have a random point of sale system. I'm not actually sure what I'm going to do with that.
So when we start selling this awesome Hey Ben Tie Signature Collection merch in store, we're going to use Danny's point of sale system.
Yeah, I have a random IP camera, random small computer, random network video recorder.
Wait, where's the camera set up for your...
Oh, the camera set, so I actually used that stand for the all-in-one PC. I drilled some holes in the back of this. The other monitor, so these are all from these two monitors that I have on this stand. So the other monitor stand is actually just the backing for my sim setup. Yeah, we have a IP phone here.
Super useful, so when I need to call tech support, head of IT.
I haven't set it up. I haven't found I need to find an ISP that will
give you a free landline.
SIP. Yeah, SIP. For giving me a free phone line, maybe, hopefully. Let's see. I have some random routers. This is a power supply, really good for like random electronics. It's not the most accurate, so I'll use my Fluke to double check, you know. So just double check voltages and stuff. We have my Borbets, poor things, still sitting here.
The wheels under there.
Someone hire me. I need a job.
This is your resume.
This is my resume. We have this Raspberry Pi. I need to go on the RPi flasher and actually put some firmware on a SD card and test the screen out. But whoops, whatever. It's a nice little screen. It was chipped. I just put some super glue. Otherwise, it's fine. You know, it works. Did it get pushed in? No, it's fine. And then we have this other router. All the routers are flashed with like OpenWRT or DDRWRT, which are pretty cool. Actually, we used this originally for our OpenVPN. So if you want to have like a remote connection to your network, and you can figure out how to set up firewalls on this, I mean, it's just basic rules. You just don't want like your local network communicating with the stuff that's on your VPN, or like your VPN connecting with the local network. You typically just want to keep your Wi-Fi separate. At one point, I'll have VLANs on my Wi-Fi, but I need an enterprise access point for that, so that I can have multiple SSIDs with different VLANs, so that I can set up different firewall rules for like IoT devices and stuff like that. But for now, it's all on Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi is considered dangerous. So
Wi-Fi danger.
Wi-Fi is danger. It's probably, I mean, it's a connection that's not hardwired, you know?
Yeah.
You don't know who can connect to it, and you can't trust everybody that's like going on your network, you know? If their device is infected, there's a good chance that it could spread across the network, so you really want to be careful with that. Yeah, we have my sim setup, which is just, I don't have it plugged in right now, but it's usually just this Oculus G29. It's pretty fun. I could pretend I'm in Japan because I can't afford to go to Japan yet.
What do you mean yet? You mean again?
Again, yeah, for the second time. Someday. We got my Xbox. Also, Goodwill find. I'm telling you.
This room's the Goodwill special.
Dude, it really is. There's a lot of stuff here that's just from like random Goodwill finds, or like a company closes down and you just buy stuff for cheap or get it for free.
Yeah. How about the Palisades Hornet?
Oh yeah, this is our first. This was the longboard that I learned how to downhill longboard on.
That's the one I learned how to slide on too.
Yeah, so basically me and Ben, when we were learning how to do downhill longboarding, this was it. This is the one. And it was great until I got run over by a car one time, and we've slammed it quite a few times into a curb. But yeah, it's like splitting right here, so I just decided to retire the board, hang it up on the wall, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
Your glory days.
Yeah, I wish there was another board like it. Haven't found anything that quite scratches that itch, but you know, it's a pretty good board.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I guess we also have like random anime stuff. So for Evangelion fans, we have Eva 1, and then we have we have
trees.
Yeah, we have a bunch of
orchids.
Yeah, a little like Japanese traditional home. There's like a little green tea in there. I don't know if you can see it from that angle.
Oh, the drones.
Yeah.
Grab the drone.
These are my brothers, or they were my brothers. He has passed them on to me. I have wrecked 2 drones, so I haven't been flying as much lately. Oh yeah, I guess up here. This is the FPV headset. It's like, I think the cheapest analog headset you can get. Or not, maybe not the cheapest, but it is a relatively cheap Fat Shark Scout FPV headset for analog video. You have to be careful not to put a digital camera and try and connect with the different signals. Then we also have this tiny little drone. We have another one in that other case. Both. I cooked the motors on both. I don't know how I did it. Most likely bent a shaft or something. But yeah, they don't like it. Too much vibration. It's start falling out of the air. It's pretty disappointing. Oh yeah, here's some stuff that I solved with a 3D printer. Found this also at Goodwill, and then just 3D printed that stand for it. Now that's my mic. It's better than any of the other mics that I've used in the past. Yeah, I guess it's. Oh, I guess we have my solder station as well.
Oh yeah.
The Hako. It's pretty good. I like it. Good quality soldering stations, always good. You want to be able to control the temperature and stuff, especially when you're working with like smaller stuff or bigger stuff. That's one of the wrecked drones. I forgot what doesn't work on that, but something doesn't work on that.
Okay guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed both kind of the computer backend as well as the network stuff that Danny's running. Every single one of Danny's hobbies, more or less. You've already seen the Porsche, and then this is everything else that happens.
Yeah, basically live in my room.
Drones, longboards, server gear, soldering stuff. I mean, 3D printing.
Stuff.
Yeah, basically every Redditor ever is in this room in some form or another.
I don't know about that, but...
Okay, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you like this Hey Ben Time merch, make sure to subscribe. Okay, peace.